Hey there and welcome to Food Love and Stiff Peaks. Today I'm going to be putting my own little twist on a healthy chicken teriyaki stir fry. Now this is a great little meal to impress and can be done with very minimal effort. It can take a bit of time if you do want to marinate the meat. If you're not too bothered about that process, you can actually do it in about 20-30 minutes, and that includes doing the washing up as well. How great is that? Well, let's get started, shall we?
What we're going to need for our teriyaki stir fry is first some spring onions, a couple of carrots, an onion, you're only going to need roughly about half, some fresh ginger, powdered's fine if you can't get fresh, a bulb of garlic, we're only going to need about 3 cloves, but again powdered is fine if you can't get that, a red chilli, I'd go for about a medium heat if you can, some tender stem broccoli, some chestnut mushrooms, I've given them a quick wash, some bean sprouts, now that is optional because I know a lot of people don't like them, a couple of chicken fillets, I think I've got about 200 grams here, which should be enough for either 2 or 4 people depending on your sides, some light soy sauce, some teriyaki sauce, and finally some rapeseed oil. Now you don't have to use rapeseed oil, I actually think the vegetable oil might be better here because it's got a bit of a higher smoke point, and when you're cooking the wok you want to cook really hot. Now all you're going to need for this is essentially a chopping board, a sharp knife, and a wok if you have one. If you don't have one, don't worry, just make sure that your pan is searingly hot before you start cooking anything. The first part of our recipe is to marinate our chicken breast. Now we're going to marinate our chicken breast in a combination of teriyaki, soy sauce, garlic, ginger and chili. The easiest way to prepare your ginger is just simply to slice off the skin with a knife. I wouldn't really waste your time with a peeler, it takes too long. Granted you are going to lose a little bit of ginger, but that's not the end of the world. Then simply cut it up into strips, turn it, cut it into even thinner strips or julienne, and then finally dice up those strips into small little pieces. Our next step is to prepare our chili. Now the first thing we're going to need to do is take the top off our chili. If you want to test the intensity of the chili, as in the heat coming off it, you can simply snap it in half and give it a smell. I already know that this is quite a hot chili, so I'm going to take the seeds out. Another tip I can give you with taking the seeds out is first cut the chili directly down the middle, grab yourself a little teaspoon, and then simply run it down the center of the chili, pulling out the membrane and all the little seeds inside. With the seeds either in or out, now we need to finally dice up our chili. So first, if you dice it up one way, then bring it all back together in a little bit of a clump, and then just run your knife through it. You don't have to do this at speed, take your time, it's not a race, you don't want to lose any fingers. I've cut myself enough times to know this. This is slightly subjective, but the easiest way I find to peel garlic is to take the base off the clove, not all the way through, you want to leave it hanging a slight bit off, just so you've got a bit of leverage to pull the skin up over the garlic with. Once you've peeled your garlic, all you need to do is then simply mince it up. There isn't any particular way you need to do this, you can even use a garlic crusher if it makes your life easier, but all you need to do is try and get it as small as possible. Now our chili, ginger and garlic is finally diced up, we want to prepare our chicken breast, and we do this by simply cutting the chicken breast into thumb-sized pieces. Now we do this roughly so we've got a bit of texture to our stir fry, as well as keeping things kinda small so they cook really quickly. Once you've chunked up your chicken breast, we want to add the chili, ginger and garlic, give it all a quick mix up, then add our soy sauce and teriyaki, give the whole mixture one final mix through, and then pop it in the fridge for at least a few hours or ideally overnight. Like I said before though, if you want to cook this straight away, that's not an issue, your meat just won't be as tasty and tender. With our chicken marinating, we're now going to prepare our vegetables. I'm going to start with our carrots, and what I'm going to do first is take the side off one of the carrots. That will stop the carrot from rocking as you're trying to slice it, as demonstrated there. Now all we need to do is slice everything up into a fine julienne, or sort of fine small matchstick strips. Now the easiest way to do this is first to slice things one way, then to stack it all up like a deck of cards and slice it the other way. With our spring onions, all I'm going to do is take the tips off and then slice them finely at an angle. Now I'm slicing them at an angle just for a decoration purpose because I'm not going to fry all of them. I'm going to hold back a small little handful just to sprinkle over the top at the end. All we're going to do with our onion is slice it in half because we only need half the onion for this. Take off the top and the bottom, peel back the skin, and then simply just slice it up. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick with slicing an onion. Now this is a way that should ensure that you never cut your fingers, or preferably never cut yourself, and that is using the claw technique for the slice. Now the idea is to keep your fingertips behind your knuckles at all times, making sure that the finger never precedes the knuckle, and if you do that, then just like this, the knife blade should never catch any part of your finger. Also, never raise the knife blade above the knuckle. And following this, you can slice relatively comfortably at a decent speed without losing any fingers. Essentially, you want to do the same thing with the mushrooms, simply just slice them up. Now, if you like me, you like a bit of mushroom presentation, and by that I mean keeping the stalk on, it does make it a bit tricky to slice it comfortably. Usually you try and take an edge off or the stalk off before you slice it, so you've got more of a steady surface. But as long as you take your time and you're sensible with a knife, you should be okay. The final thing we're going to have to prepare is our broccoli. Now simply all we're going to do with this is cut it in half, and that is basically it. With everything prepared, it's time to get cooking. Once our wok is at a really hot temperature, we want to add about a tablespoon of rapeseed oil. With both our wok and our oil at a searingly hot temperature, we need to go straight in with our chicken breast. As you can see there, it started to sizzle up straight away, which meant the temperature was spot on. Now all you want to do is try and brown the meat. It took me approximately 5 minutes to thoroughly cook through and brown my chicken breast. If you are unsure when your chicken breast is ready, simply take a piece, break it open, make sure it's white all the way through and piping hot in the center. If that's the case, then it should be fine and good to go. With our chicken breast browned, all we need to do now is take it off the heat and put it aside. In the same frying pan, add another glug or roughly about a tablespoon of our rapeseed oil. Scrape down the side of the pan just to slightly infuse that oil with the garlic and ginger. Then go in with the carrot, onion and broccoli and give that a good mix through and leave that to cook for a good few minutes. Once our vegetables have been cooking for about 2 or 3 minutes, we then want to go in with a dash of teriyaki and a few splashes of soy sauce just to give our vegetables some colour and a bit of flavour. Once our carrot, onion and broccoli has been cooking for about another 2 or 3 minutes, we then want to go in with our mushrooms, spring onions and optionally our bean sprouts. Remember to save a couple of spring onions until the end just for some decoration. Now once again, you don't have to put the bean sprouts in, I like them so I'm going to chuck them in. And all you need to do is give that a mix through, give it a couple more minutes and then get in with the chicken breast. Again, once you've given that another 2 or 3 minutes, we then want to go back in with our chicken breast, warm that through for another 2 or 3 minutes, and our stir fry is ready to be eaten. Now our stir fry is ready, all we need to do is plate it up. I served mine with some coconut and lemongrass rice, which was absolutely delicious to go with it. You don't have to do this, you can serve it with whatever you choose. Then sprinkle on a little bit of green onion. Now I like a little bit of crunch with mine, so I had some cashews and I just finally chopped them up and sprinkled them on top as well. And there we have it, our chicken teriyaki stir fry. Now if you like this video, feel free to give us a like. If you have any suggestions or questions, leave a comment. Or if you're interested in any other recipes we may be producing in the future, click on that subscribe button. I've been James, this has been Food Love and Stiff Peaks, and I'll catch you next time. Happy cooking!